I'm sorry.
I
figured we could just go right into it, but I don't have a Switch, so I have no idea what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Oh no, I was me.
Yeah, it was me.
You can go on. Wait, so you can go on YouTube? What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, you can use your Switch to like go on YouTube, go on Twitch, like anything you can use like your Fire Stick for. You can just use your Switch for.
Yeah, but how did you know, Tyrese, that she was on YouTube?
Because you could tell.
Because I have her on my friends list, and it can tell you like what everybody's doing, like what games they're playing or what apps they're on.
Oh, that's a little stalkerish. It's a little creepy.
It is creepy.
I mean, I wasn't trying to stalk her. I was realizing like I haven't seen nobody play the Switch in like forever, and I decided to check, and it was her.
Okay.
Yep.
Just tracking your friends. That's cool, I guess. Anyway,
wait,
hey everybody, welcome to the BrOtaku Alliance. What were you about to say? What were you about to say?
No, I was gonna say something, but we'll keep that for after we're done with recording. So
okay. Welcome to the BrOtaku Alliance podcast, the podcast where we talk about anime and manga and other nerd shit. This week, I think my turtle just fell off of his ledge. This week, there are a couple things to talk about. Number one, I am currently watching the first episode of Prison School, and when I say currently, I mean as we record. So you might hear me chime in about that. Secondly, Tyrese was telling me the first episode, or the new episode of My Hero Academia came out.
Yeah, and Spy Family too. I forgot to add
Spy
that.
Family as well.
And
I just
Spy
finished
Family.
watching it.
I haven't watched it yet. Spy Family. I have to start. I did watch the first episode, actually. That's not true. I watched the first 2 episodes, actually. I gotta keep going. But they were good, though. I did enjoy it. I get the hype now.
I read the manga.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
It's good.
Wholesome stuff.
Speaking of reading the manga, I am so close to being caught up on My Hero, but I keep stopping at like the same chapter and getting distracted and then forgetting about it for like weeks. So like
I still need to get caught up on My Hero. That's crazy.
Like right now they're fighting. There's like this huge war going on between the heroes and the what's left of the heroes.
I was about to say what's
villains.
left of the heroes.
Yeah, and I keep getting sidetracked right when Deku is going to fight Shigaraki, which is like the hypest part. And I'm just like, oh, you know what? I forgot I gotta wash clothes, and I'll go do something, and then just not come back to it for like weeks at a time. So I don't even know how far behind I am anymore. Same with Black Clover. I haven't read Black Clover in feels like 2 years. I've been watching the
spoilers of Black Clover.
You have?
Yeah, but I dropped it and like the anime, and I haven't picked it up yet.
Ever since I started reading the manga, I stopped watching the anime. Now I do it like One Piece or like any other. Like if I'm reading a manga and I'm already far ahead, I pretty much stop watching the anime.
Yeah.
Until something hype happens.
Same.
Like when they show, you know, this fight that's about to happen with Luffy in the anime, and like what's about to happen with that, I'm definitely watching the anime.
It might be a while though.
It might be
because it's literally the last fight.
Exactly, and I know Film Red is coming out in the U.S. this month.
No, they actually changed it to November.
They did?
Yep, November 4th.
Okay. Well, yeah. So when that happens, I'm watching it.
I am too.
So yeah, it's kind of like it's stuff like that. Like I'll step away from the anime when I'm reading the manga, but when I know something is coming up that I really want to see animated, then I'll go back and watch it. But I have a question. Like, what usually happens like when you drop an anime or a manga? Like, what's usually the reason? Do you just get distracted, or are you just not feeling it anymore? Like, what is it?
I usually get distracted. Like, if there's like something else that caught my attention other than that anime, then I would I would just drop it for a little bit and then go into what other interests me and not go back to it until like 2 months later.
That's about accurate. I mean, for me, it depends. Like, I have a technique for like anime and manga. Like for anime, I give something 3 episodes. Like I watch the first 3 episodes. If I'm not hooked by the 3rd episode, like that's it. It's I'm not watching it.
Oh,
and
no
for
wonder
manga,
it took you so long to watch One Piece.
and for manga, it depends. Like for manhwa, for Korean manhwa, it's different because I literally like look at the reviews and I look at like what people think. And there are instances where I like spoil myself ahead because I know how shitty it's gonna end, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna spare myself from this. I'm not gonna read this because I know by the end of the day I'm gonna be fucking pissed, and it was no point in me reading it. Like I have instances where I read some stuff, and I'm just like, bro, why did you ever create this? Like at this point, just throw that shit in the trash. You know, like it just depends on the situation as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think for me it's kind of the same. I think it's also arcs. Like different mangas and anime have they have story arcs, and it's like if I'm not feeling a particular arc, I'll wait and I'll just be like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna give this some time so that way I can just like once this arc is over, I can just binge it to the next arc starts.
Yeah.
But then I'll forget. So it's like with Black Clover, it was like, all right, this arc is good, but it's not really living up to some of the hype. So I'm gonna just like give it some time, and then after a couple weeks, or maybe like 2 or 3 months, I'll come back to it and just binge to get caught up. But then it's like you look up and it's been like a year and a half, and I'm just like, oh shit, I don't even know what's going on in the story anymore. Like I have to go back a few chapters and like reread just to remember what the hell was happening when I stopped. Like that was what happened with Tower of God. Like I stopped watching, or I stopped reading it, and then I tried to come back to the same chapter that I left off on, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, it was the same with God of High School.
Right, and God of High School. And I really wanted to read God of High School because like with God of High School and Tower of God, Crunchyroll left a lot of stuff out.
Oh yeah, they did.
They did.
They left a lot of stuff out.
Like they cut a lot of really kind of important information out of the anime. So when I was reading it, I was like, oh, this is like actually a lot better.
Like where is this at in the anime?
Yeah, so it's like, I was really enjoying it, but then at the same time, it's like, it's also, I get, this is going to sound really like hypocritical coming from a One Piece fan, but it's also like so long.
That is hypocritical, but I understand it.
It was a little intimidating because it's like, it's long and I'm not feeling this arc right now. So it's like, I don't know if the rest of it is going to be like this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to speed through it the way I would a faster pace manga.
Yeah.
Like Demon Slayer, you could binge Demon Slayer in like 2 months.
Yeah. Read it or like watch it?
Reading it.
Oh yeah.
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 Like because it's that fast paced, you'll pretty much just never want to put it down.
Done too, so
And it is done.
Yeah,
so.
and it's done. So and it's not a super long manga, but with some like really long mangas, it's like the pace is so slow at times that it's like. I know. That's what I was saying. Like this is it's very hypocritical coming from a One Piece fan. But at the same time, it's like
1,060 chapters.
But at the same time, you got to understand too, like everything ain't as good as One Piece.
I know.
So it's
That's
like
crazy.
it's different when things try to behave like One Piece when they're not as good as One Piece.
Ooh.
Like Tower of God is honestly Tower of God is one of the closest ones, but at the same time, the art isn't as impressive. It's not as detailed. Like
I mean, you have to remember it's like different, isn't that?
Yeah,
Korean?
it's a manhwa. Yeah, right. So I'm like, it's a different experience. So I can't enjoy it the same way I could One Piece. But it's almost as long. Like it's really really long. Like it's high hundreds of chapters. So, it's like I see what some people are talking about when they say One Piece is too long. But for me, it's like I One Piece is so good that it doesn't feel as long. Like One Piece does not feel as long as Tower of God feels. which
I
is
know,
weird
right?
because
Yeah.
it's way longer. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to explain. But like, it's some anime and manga that just don't feel as long as they actually are. Like Naruto doesn't feel like
20 years.
close to 1,000 chapters because it actually is. Like Naruto and Naruto Shippuden combined are close to, what is it, like 800 something chapters? So it's a long one, but
Yeah.
again, you can speed through it kind of quick, and watching it is even better. A lot of filler toward the end, though.
It's a lot of filler.
I was about to say there's a
Yeah.
lot of filler.
Yeah, a lot of filler.
It's like a comfort anime though. Like it's good to binge watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bleach too. Bleach is also pretty long, but it doesn't drag. It does at some points, but I mean,
There are
that's the
some
filler.
fillers that
That's the
kinda
filler.
canon.
Yeah, yeah, and there are filler. See, that's the thing too. Is like with One Piece and Bleach, and to an extent Naruto. Sometimes there's some fillers that are canon, completely canon, or are like they're not canon, but like the end of the filler episode, they'll show like the beginning of the next canon portion of the story.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like in Bleach, where I think it's like after the whole like the arc where the Zanpakuto like came alive or whatever. Like toward the end of that was when they set up the Vizords. Like the guys, you know, the ex Soul Reapers who had hollow powers. Like that kind of stuff. So it makes watching the filler feel a little bit more worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you could also just skip it. Like it's still just filler. Same thing with One Piece. Like the actually that wasn't filler. Now that I think about it, Long Ring, Long Land with the Foxy Pirates.
Actually, I don't know. I don't think that was filler.
No,
That's crazy.
it was canon.
It was canon. Because after it, they were still on the island, and then Aokiji showed up.
Right. A lot of people think that Long Ring, Long Land is filler, and that when Aokiji shows up, that's when it gets back to the canon storyline. But it's actually all canon, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I have a question though, and this is going to be perhaps a little controversial. So I was having a conversation with one of our coworkers the other day, and he said, and by the way, he's my age, so he's like 20. I think he's 28 or 29, maybe. It was Raheem. I think Raheem's like 28.
You're gonna look at this like this. I don't know what you did not just do that. Okay, go ahead.
But
Wait, Raheem's 28?
I think so. Me and Raheem are about the same age, and me, Raheem, and
Oh, right.
Anwar are
Makes
about
sense.
the same age. But he was saying like the only anime that he had ever heard of was One Punch Man, and I was like, Raheem, that's just not true.
Wait,
He
what?
was like, no, it is. I was like, so you never heard of Pokemon
Or Dragon
Digimon
Ball?
or Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball? He was like, that doesn't count.
What?
So this kind of brought up an interesting conversation between the three of us because Mark was there as well, and Mark's also an anime fan. Does someone who has watched the major anime, like meaning the ones that crossed over into America in a major way, to the point where they were regarded as just like regular cartoons, like people who didn't even know about anime knew about these anime. They knew about Pokemon and Digimon and Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh.
And Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Would someone who only watched those shows still be considered an anime fan?
Damn.
That's a good question.
That is
Just
a-
those shows?
If you only watched those shows, hadn't seen Naruto, hadn't seen Bleach, hadn't seen One Piece or One Punch Man or Cowboy Bebop or Akira or any of the other like well-known, any of the other animes that are well-known amongst the anime community, you only watch the ones that maybe came on like Cartoon Network, like on American networks around the same time as like all the other regular cartoons, to the point where you just assume that they were also regular cartoons. A lot of people didn't realize Pokemon and Digimon and all that was anime because it just came on regular TV shows, and they crossed over so well. Like, they had games, and card games, and merch, and all this other stuff that was so worldwide that it became bigger than anime. But they are still technically anime. So if someone only ever really watched those shows, and maybe didn't even watch all of those shows, would you still consider them an anime fan?
That's a good question. So wait, do they only watch like certain episodes, or do they like watch all of them, or like?
So I'll give you an example, right? So Raheem said that he did have like, and Dom said like he watched Beyblade and like Pokemon, and he had like the cards, and he had like the Beyblade, like the spinners and everything, and he watched all of them, all of the episodes of those two. He watched some Yu-Gi-Oh and like some Dragon Ball, but that's it.
I want to say no.
Okay.
I mean,
like, why? What the fuck? Da, da, da.
I mean,
wrong. Everybody could be a fan of it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it still counts as anime, so yes, you could be a fan.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's levels to how much of a fan. Like, I don't want to like be like, oh yeah, you can be a fan of like this. No, like you can like whatever the fuck you want. Like, yes, you can be a fan of anime. That's fine. But I don't know, man. This is controversial. Like,
I know.
It's
I mean, you say he had the Beyblades, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so I technically still count him as a fan.
Because he's a fan of like these shows, these two shows. And he had seen some episodes of some of the other like very worldwide like popular shows like Dragon Ball and like, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh or Digimon, but never really anything else. To the point where he actually, Dom said that he walked in on his nephews watching Black Clover, and he sat down and started watching it with them and was like, this is good. And they had to tell him like, this is an anime. And he was like, oh, okay.
I think, yeah, you're a fan. I mean, I don't want to be like, you know, those people that be like, oh, if you haven't watched this anime, or like, tell me how many animes you watch. You know, like those annoying people that be like, test you on your knowledge on anime. I feel like at the end of the day, if you like something and you like it to a certain degree or point, then you're a fan, and that's fine. So yes, even if you didn't think it was anime, and you end up still liking it, at the end of the day, you are a fan.
Okay.
Valid.
Yeah.
Here's why I say no. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
You see this shit?
No, I'm gonna say no for this specific reason. No. I wanted to get your answers. I wanted to get your opinions, because there's no right or wrong answer really. But the reason why I personally would say no is because, to me, I feel like you're not a fan of something until you start to explore it on your own. Like, if you heard J. Cole on the radio, and then you heard like a different J. Cole song on the radio, and then 2 weeks later you heard a different J. Cole song on the radio, you're not going to go and start telling people, yeah, I'm a hip-hop fan. Because you're a fan of 3 songs that you just happen to hear, when you haven't actually made any effort or done any research to actually explore the genre as a whole. Does that make sense? Like, especially for somebody like my age, for somebody who's like me and Dom and like Raheem's age, there was a point in time where you had to go and like look for anime. It didn't just come on TV or like stream. There weren't streaming services or anything like that. Like, you literally had to go and explore and find it. So it's like, at that point in time, if you were just watching what was on TV, yeah, great. Like, we're glad. Like, I'm glad you enjoy it. I enjoy it as well. But if I say like, hey, what else do you watch? And you can't think of anything else, or you don't even have any frame of reference. Or if I say, what other animes do you watch? And you don't even know that the things you're watching are anime, then it's like, all right, for you to call yourself an anime fan would feel really weird. You know what I mean?
Okay, I get it.
It'd be like if somebody, it would be like if somebody watches like their brother in high school basketball and is like, yeah, I'm a basketball fan, but they don't watch anything else. They just go and watch their own like little brother play at their high school. They don't watch any NBA games, any college games, or anything like that. It's like, it would be weird. I can't say you're wrong, but it would be weird for you to say that you were a basketball fan. Because it's a whole genre. Right? Like, there are, like I said, there are some shows that kind of transcend the genre. Like, there are some hip-hop songs that transcend hip-hop. You don't have to be a hip-hop fan to know these songs.
You make a valid point. That's a very, very straight up valid point, yes. I'd not have you just let us talk to then
and
go
then just say, you know what?
Because I don't think there's any right or wrong answer, really. Like, you could, if somebody did only watch like Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and Digimon and Sailor Moon, and they were like, I'm an anime fan, I can't argue with that. Like, you can name a list of like several animes that you watched that you enjoyed. If you want to say you're an anime fan, I can't say you're wrong. But at the same time, I think it's just a difference in standard. Like,
right.
My standard of what it means to be an anime fan is a little bit more than just like watching what happens to come on TV.
Yeah,
it's like it goes a little bit above and beyond that.
I agree.
Now, if you want to say I'm a new anime fan, and like I'm still learning or I'm still exploring, then it's like, oh well, shit. Let me give you some recommendations. It's
right.
like,
let me give you some recommendations.
But if you
watch Review
like,
Healer.
Yeah, but if you're like, I'm an anime fan, I've been watching anime since I was a kid. It's like, oh, okay, which ones did you watch? Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. Okay. What else? Digimon. Like, okay. Did you watch something that didn't have a video game? Like,
right.
Or a card game? You know, it's like give me something here to work with. Because you can't really, it's another thing too, you can't really gauge somebody's taste off of that either. Like, that's another thing. Like, anime fans kind of build their own taste. Like,
right.
their own like their own style. Like, what kinds of, because, you know, like, it's a genre, but at the same time, there's subgenres. Like, there's different types of anime.
Yeah.
If you can't give me, like, some semblance of, like, a subgenre or like your particular taste of anime that you like, then it's like, how much have you actually watched?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, Pokemon and Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon are nothing alike. So that's how I know you're just watching whatever comes on. You're not looking for like, hey, let me find something else like this.
Smart move. Straight to the point. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. At the same, like I said, if somebody was to say that to me and said I'm an anime fan, technically speaking, I can't argue with you because you are a fan of an anime.
Yeah.
So you're not wrong. You're just a fucking fraud. No, I'm just playing.
You're just a phony.
Yeah.
A big fat phony.
Hey, you know who lives here? A phony.
I'm crying.
Oh, I love
big
Family Guy.
fat phony.
I love Family Guy so much. All right.
It's so good.
It is so good.
It helped build my character today.
I can see it.
Me too. Family Guy, I grew up on Family Guy. You guys,
I did too. I watched it to the point where I wasn't even allowed to watch it.
Yeah. You guys are probably, no disrespect, but a little too young to remember this, but there was a point in time when like people would go and buy DVD box sets of shows.
Oh yeah, my dad did. We bought like two sets of Family Guy DVDs.
Oh yeah, my dad did. I'm like, you asshole. I'm not that fucking old.
I'm not that old. I had a DVD player at some point. I also had a VHS player too. That's how I watch all the Pokemon movies.
Oh, okay.
I did grow up on VHS tapes.
Me too.
But
Me too.
but
Did you ever have a
VR,
bootleg VHS tape?
A bootleg? Okay, now. Okay.
See? Alright. I'm dating myself a little bit. What about a Sega Genesis?
I had a Sega Genesis.
Okay, alright. Dreamcast? No. Okay.
No, I only had a Sega Genesis. I was a big fan of Sega, playing Mortal Kombat and Sonic and all that.
Mm-hmm.
can't relate.
I had a Lion King game on the Sega Genesis. It was cool. It was basically Mario, but with Simba.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I about
game
to say?
systems.
Yeah. And I feel like my dad, we had a Sega Genesis. It was basically my dad's. Then I started playing it because he got a PlayStation. He got a PlayStation 1.
I think I remember having a Sega Genesis. And I remember like Sonic was on the top of it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Love
that
then
thing.
The PlayStation 2 came out, and I was like, Dad, can I play your PlayStation? Or no, he got a PlayStation 1, and I was like, Dad, can I play the PlayStation? And he was like, no. So then, like, the PlayStation 2 came out, and was it PS2? No. The Xbox came out.
The Xbox came out.
Yeah, and because he didn't want me to play his PlayStation, he was like, here, I'll get you an Xbox. So I've been Team Xbox ever since.
Can't relate. I only
Yeah.
had like 2 games on Xbox.
So here's how my father used to operate.
No, 3 games. I'm sorry.
Because he was, let's just say he was a guy who liked to save money. I'm not going to use the C word. But here's how cheap he was. Oh, shit. But anyway. So he got me the Xbox. He bought it used on eBay. And it came with a box. Like, it didn't come in an Xbox box. It came in a just big cardboard box. And it came with, like, 15 used games. Some of which were, like, not good games.
This reminded me of the time where my family got the GameCube. We had no memory cards, so it was like all the games I played. As soon as I turned the game off, I had to play it over again. So I literally left it on. So either somebody was buying me a memory card, or the electric bill was going up. Either way, somebody was paying something.
That's how it was back then.
That's how it was back then.
But you know what's crazy, though? Those 15, like, used games, some of them ended up becoming, like, my favorite games of all time. Like, to this day. Like, Halo is still my favorite video game of all time. Like, I just finished beating Halo Infinite on Legendary on my PC, like, 2 months ago. And then there was this one game that actually, it was this was back when, like, before you could, like, there was only 2 ways that you could test out games. You could go to GameStop or Toys R Us or, like, one of those stores, and you can go to the video game section, and they would have systems set up already.
Yeah.
Where you could, like, play demo versions of games.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you bought a game, like, you would have to go to the Xbox menu, go to the game, and then the game would have, like, a menu, like a DVD menu. And you could go to previews, and you could literally play demos of, like, of other games from the game that you bought. And I remember there was this game called Fusion Frenzy, which was basically like, it was like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, you have to see it to understand it. It was like Mario Smash Brothers meets Wipeout.
Really?
Yeah, like, it just didn't, it was just like weird, like, races and, like, competition games. It was like a multiplayer game. When I tell you, like, me and, like, 5 or 6 of my friends would just sit in my basement all night, every weekend, taking turns playing a demo of a game. I couldn't even afford to, like, go get that actual
buy
game.
the game. It just plays the demo.
We're just taking turns going back and forth playing a demo. And this was when multiplayer was like, you had 4 controllers. That's it. So when one person loses, you got to give up the controller and, like, pass it to the next person. So it was like all night from 8 p.m. to like 5:30 a.m. just in the basement playing these games, and then every once in a while an advertisement would pop up, and like we gotta sit there and wait for it to go away because it's a demo game. It's not a real game. And then like when that goes away, we can restart the demo and start playing again. Weird times. The early 2000s.
Weird times. There was some weird times, but it was fun.
It was fun. I miss that.
I miss that too.
Nobody really goes to their friend's house to play games anymore.
I don't.
I mean,
It's all
this day and age.
this day and age. Nah, it's all online now.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. It sucks for them. At least we had it growing up.
Right, but no,
Right,
like, we
yeah.
don't even do it anymore. Like
I
as
don't
adults.
even do it no more.
Shit,
Like
I
that
don't
used to be a whole thing. It's like Friday night, we're gonna order a pizza.
Right.
We're gonna blow up the air mattress in the basement, and we're gonna play these fucking video games. And we're gonna play
But-
games until we fall asleep. And then the first person who falls asleep, we're gonna put ketchup on their face. So like
But,
now everybody's
yeah.
just got fucking insomnia trying to stay awake. One time I literally tried. We used to do that. We would just like play pranks on people as they fell asleep. Like you already knew, like once you fell asleep, something was gonna happen. I literally was the last person to go to sleep. I stayed awake until the next morning. I was so tired that even though everybody else was asleep, I literally was like, "Oh shit, I'm the only one left." I looked out, the sun was out. So I was like, well, there's no point in even going to sleep now. It's the next day. So I went upstairs to get breakfast, and I made like a microwave, like pot pie. Went back down into the basement, started eating it. Next thing I know, I'm waking up with my face in the pie. Like, I was so tired. I literally, like...
Poor pot
It
pie.
was just like chicken all on my... Chicken and like pie stuff like all on my face. I was just
like
like...
the pie didn't even wake you up. Like it was steaming hot and didn't even wake you up.
No, I didn't even eat it. It's just like my face. I didn't even get to take like a bite. I literally sat down and like put my fork in it. And then it was just like, wait, I just woke up. But what's fucked up was that when I woke up, it had to have been hours later because everybody else was gone. I was like,
so
y'all
they
didn't
just
wait.
left you like that.
They just like stepped over me to go back home. Like everybody just left. I was like, wow, you motherfuckers. Like nobody thought to wake me up or anything.
Right? Nobody woke you up to say goodbye or hey, you got pie on your face. Nope.
Nope. I got up, everyone was gone. I'm going. Like I had to go back to the kitchen. I'm like wiping off my face. I'm like, where everybody go? My mom was like, what the hell is that on your face? And I was like, chicken. She was like, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I went to eat and now I'm here. I don't know what's happening. Oh my god, those are good times.
Yep. But now Discord exists.
I miss sleepovers.
Yep.
Yeah,
now
somebody
Discord
for a
and
sleepover
everything
now, they just
exists.
look at you like you're crazy.
Right? You trying to kill somebody?
Yeah,
What are you
it's
having
like,
a sleepover
no,
for? You trying to do something to us? You trying to trap us in your basement?
Right, like motherfucker, I'm lonely. That's all. The goddamn.
Right? I'm lonely on a Friday night, and you
Yeah,
supposed
like
to be my friends. Like, damn, I can't hang out with my friends.
But it's only guys. I feel like girls still do that. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
yeah,
you're
I think.
Girls don't have
don't do
sleepovers
sleepovers?
anymore.
Wait. I gotta realize that I'm different from,
Like I feel
yeah.
like a lot of women still like they'll go out and then they'll go back to like one of their houses and then they'll all just like crash.
No, definitely, yes, that happens.
Yeah, like guys don't do that. It's like I'm going home, my home.
Yeah, I'm going home after this. I'm going home.
Yeah,
after.
like I'm not going to sleep at your house. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
If I may wake up in somebody's basement tied up, I'm good. No,
Yeah,
I'm going back to my home.
like we can't even do it like in that circumstances. It's like nah, bro, I gotta go to my home.
in
And
my
sleep
bed.
In my bed. Yeah, in my bed. I don't know. Guys are weird.
Yeah, we're weird.
Or women are weird. I don't know. Maybe it's both. No, women are weird.
Yeah, women are weird.
Yeah. I give that to you guys.
Yeah, they still have sleepovers this day and age. Like, I don't trust none of y'all.
Right. With pajamas and shit.
Right?
Some of them be having matching pajamas. Like, y'all coordinated this?
Like y'all on
What
some
is
kind of
this?
code or something. What did I sign up for? What kind of cult did I sign up for? Is that punch? I'm not drinking it.
Oh God, no! I'm not drinking. No, get that out of here. I brought my own. You just pull out.
Right,
a thermos.
I brought my own punch. I'll drink. I'm good. I have water.
Oh man.
What's
your greatest sleepover memory?
My greatest sleepover memory? Well, I slept over at my cousin's house with a couple of his other friends because I was also cool with them too. We decided to stay in the basement of his house, and there's a bathroom in the basement, and there's like a little door where you could like wash up, and there's like a sink in there too. So like we would all take turns like washing up or like going to the bathroom. So I was the last one to go in, and I knew like if I was the last one to go in, like I'm the safest. But no, I was wrong. So when I got out of the bathroom, the lights was off. Everybody left. I was like, where the fuck did everybody go? So I started walking around the basement, and I started hearing this music. And I was like, what the fuck? It's like weird like music you would hear in a scary movie.
Yeah.
And then somebody ended up appearing behind me and said, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, he's at the door. You know, some shit like that. And I literally pissed myself. I thought
was that?
And I thought I went to the bathroom and emptied out my tank. I was wrong. I pissed myself.
Oh, Tyrese.
Oh.
I pissed myself.
Oh, no.
But it's okay. I got them back.
With the piss? What are you talking about? Oh, gosh. All right.
Okay, I do want to know.
All right.
You sure you
what
don't want to know?
What about you, Sadai?
No.
What's your gated great?
Actually, you know, I will tell you guys. I decided to make lemonade the next day.
Oh, ew.
But no, it wasn't.
What was
It
that
was like
movie?
40% of my piss.
Ew.
The 70% was lemonade.
Ew.
The 40% is still a problem. What was that movie? Like, it just reminded me, it's like, fuck, I forgot the name. But she was like, eat my shit, and then she's eating the pie. And it's like, what did you say? Bro, you're telling me, come on, bro, you gotta represent. I forgot the name.
I feel like I have heard of this before.
I forgot the name of the movie, but it's a great movie, and I love it. But
I know it. I feel like I've definitely heard of the scene you're talking about, but I haven't seen the movie.
She was like, eat my shit. And then, mind you, she has a pie on, and then she's eating it.
Yeah.
And she's like, what did you say? And she's like, eat my shit. And then something about it, and she was like, you already did. Some shit like that. And it was crazy. Like, you know, she baked shit into the pie, and the white woman ate it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I feel like I've definitely heard about the scene that you're talking about, but I haven't seen the movie.
I forgot the name. I'm pretty sure people are hearing like, oh, it's this movie right now. I'm like, yeah, sorry. I apologize. I forgot the name. But it's
No, it's cool.
They did a scene like that in Game of Thrones, too.
Where somebody was eating shit?
No, worse. Arya basically made a list of like all the people whoever like did her wrong or her family wrong. She was like a little girl. She was a princess. But
Arya Stark?
Yeah, she goes and she trains with like the faceless men. She basically becomes like an assassin who can shapeshift her face or whatever.
Yeah, I noticed because I play multiverses.
Right. So she comes back and starts checking people off this list, you know, just killing them. And one of them was a guy named Walder Frey, who basically killed Arya's mom and brother. So Arya comes back, and Walder Frey has like 2 sons, and Walder Frey is at his dinner table, and one of his little like attendants or whatever is standing behind him. He's like a king, kind of, or a lord. So like his maid or whatever is standing behind him, and she's like, "Here's your dinner, my lord," and she hands him like, you know, 2 pies, like pot pies, like chicken pot pies. And he starts eating them, and he's like, "Where are my sons?" And she's like, "They're here, my lord." And he was he starts looking around the room, and he's like, "Where?" She was like, "No, here, my lord," and points at the pies. And then he's like, "What the fuck?" And then the woman just like takes off her face, and it's Arya. And then Walder Frey, who's like a really old man, he's in like his 80s. he can't get up and run, so he's just like freaking the fuck out. He's like, oh, what the fuck? And so she was just like, something, I forget, the lone wolf. I can't remember what she said. It was something badass, but she basically like takes a fork full of the pies. She killed his sons and baked them into pies.
Damn.
And they weren't kids, they were adults, but she killed them and like grinded them up into like basically ground human meat, and then baked them into pies and then served them to him. She takes like a forkful of one of the pies and stuffs it in his mouth and then stabs him in the or no, not stabs him. She cuts his throat. So he's just bleeding out with a mouthful of one of his sons. And then Arya's just sitting there smiling, and she just like goes back to her little list, and she was like, doo-doo-doo-doo, like Walder Frey, check. It's like,
wow, that actually reminds me of one of the episodes of South Park. That reminds
Did
me
they do
of
something like that on South Park?
Yeah, Cartman was getting revenge on this kid called Scott Tetterman because Scott Tetterman sold him his pube because he thought it was magic pube paper or some bullshit like that. So we decided to get revenge on him, and one of the things he did, it was a chili eating contest, and he tried to get him to eat one of this chili, and it turned out the chili that Scott Tetterman ate was his parents.
Oh,
like
I wonder if they got that from Game of Thrones.
Like no,
probably not, because that episode came out recently. Never mind.
Like, his parents ended up dying because some, like, farm owners shot them. And before the police took their bodies away, Carmen came out of nowhere and took their bodies away and grind up into chili.
Oh, my God.
And fed them to his son. He said, "Do you like it? I call it Mr. and Mrs. Tetterman chili." And he found a finger with his mom, he found his mom's finger with the wedding ring on it, and he immediately started crying.
Of course. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I can't imagine that my brain would continue to function properly.
Oh no, I would shut down completely.
Yeah. Like, you just freeze. You'd be looking like Luffy when... moving on. Whew. Glad I caught that. Anywho, speaking of some shocking and traumatic shit, I did it. I watched MIDORI.
I didn't.
I did.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. You did. I warned you, didn't I?
You did.
I warned you.
And I told you the way you were explaining it only made me more curious.
Oh
I
God.
knew it was
See,
going to be bad. I knew it was going to be bad, but I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
What do you think?
Oh, I couldn't even finish it. I couldn't even finish it. I could not even finish it. I could not even finish it.
I told you so bad.
I could not even finish it. I was like, nah.
Yeah, y'all were not listening to me. I got traumatized, and here you go now. Sorry, that's your
Listen, I try to spare... Listen, I listen to you.
Yeah.
I've seen some shit.
I could not even finish it. It got to the point where I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what the point of this is. It got to the point where I was like, is this supposed to be entertaining? Like, who's supposed to be entertained by this? I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, it's worse than Saw. Like, when I watched Saw for the first time, I was like, this isn't even good storytelling. This isn't even a good movie. It's just torture. But this was like, oh my God. Like, I can't even... I literally can't imagine why this was made.
Yeah. Neither am I. That's really what I thought.
I was like, this doesn't make any... I was like, whatever lesson this is supposed to be teaching people, there had to have been an easier way. Like, there had to have been a better way to get this message across.
That shit was absolutely fucking traumatizing. And
it was terrible. It was so bad.
Yes, it was bad. Like, it's bad. Like one of the worst things I've seen in my life. And that comes a lot.
It was bad. It was bad to the point where I was like, I don't know if these people are human. I don't know if these people can be human.
It was just us talking about this giving me the flashback of the scene over in my head.
Because it was like
back of my mind.
Because they were a freak. It was a freak show, right? Like, they were weird people in general. But at the same time, it's like some of the shit that they were doing is just like, all right, I can't imagine people doing this. Not even like people in a freak show or whatever, but just like people, period. Like I can't imagine any person getting any type of like enjoyment out of this.
Yeah. I thought I was kidding when I said it was bad. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
It was terrible.
I don't even want to imagine it.
It was terrible,
than Buffalo People. It ranks high up there, like number one in my chart, to be honest, of things that are fucked up to watch.
Like from the very beginning, when it first started,
Jesus
and they showed
Christ.
like her mom, and like how her mom died, I was like, oh, that's bad. That's bad. Like that's traumatizing as fuck.
Jesus.
But I've seen worse. And then it just got progressively worse and worse, and I was like, oh no. I didn't realize the mom dying was gonna be like the mild portion of this.
Yeah.
Well, she couldn't catch a fucking break, bro. It was back to back, back to back, back to back.
Bro,
how do you spell it so I can avoid it at all costs?
it's literally Midoriya without the A.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, because Midoriya is with a Y. Never mind. It's MIDORI.
Midori.
Oh my god.
Very traumatizing. So watch at your own risk. I was not joking when I said it was traumatizing. Nobody listens
It's
to
like
me.
I want to, but
Tyrese,
Nah,
I'll give you
I've seen
one.
it.
I'll give you one scene, and this isn't even the bad one. Her mom is sick. She comes into the room, right, to tell her mom something. I don't even remember what the fuck she was trying to tell her. It was some sad shit. But her mom's just like laying there, not moving, purple face, and she's like, "Mom?" Mom's not answering. So she sees like movement under the blanket. She lifts the blanket off, and there's rats literally eating her mom's legs.
what the hell?
And that's how she realized her mom was dead the whole time. Like her mom had died in the bed, and she's like going and talking to her, not realizing she's already dead. So when she sees like the movement under the blankets and realizes that the rats are eating her, and her mom's just laying there with her eyes open, she's like, "Oh shit, she's dead." Like that was the moment she found out her mom, who had been sick for months, that was the moment she found out that she was dead. And then nobody takes her in. Like she's just roaming the streets as an orphan after that. That was by far, that was not even close to being the worst scene in the movie.
That's not even the worst. Oh
No, it's
my
not.
god!
It's nowhere near the worst. It's nowhere near the worst.
It just gets worse and worse.
It
and
just
worse
progressively
and worse.
gets worse from there. That's the beginning.
That's really the beginning, and then it just gets downhill from there. You think it's like, oh yeah, like it can get worse from here. Yes, it gets worse. They bring down a new level of worse. Like they make it worse. They're like, if you think they can't top it, they go, you know what, we're gonna drag it to hell, and they go lower than that. Like,
And I didn't
bad.
finish it, so I can't imagine how bad it actually got.
It's bad. It's really fucking bad. Like it's to the point. Afterwards, I wanted a cup of bleach when I finished watching. I was like, yeah, no, this shit is traumatizing. I talked to my therapist about that shit. I was like, yeah, no. I literally like it literally traumatized me to the point where I'm just like, yeah, never again. The one time I listened to TikTok about not watching something, because I was like, oh, it's been in Japan too? How bad could it be? It's bad, alright.
You see why it was banned.
It's very bad.
It's
If
terrible.
It's banned in Japan, it's very, very bad. To the point where you want to like...
Mm-hmm.
I wish I can go back to the point where I never found out about that shit, so I can be okay in the head.
Mm-hmm.
But that shit will live in my mind for the rest of my life at this point, because it's bad.
Yeah,
It's very bad.
I don't know how anybody could get through the whole thing.
Bro, I don't know how the fuck I managed to get through that shit. I was literally about to
You
throw
finished
up.
it? You watched the whole
finished?
thing?
Yeah. Soldier. Tell me
I
something
don't know
back
how.
for that.
I'm a soldier.
You're a soldier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really wanted to throw up in my fucking mouth. Like, I watched stuff that to the point to make me want to throw up, like how disgusting it was. I literally wanted to throw up. Like, I was like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
like I had to
I
stop.
felt that a couple times. I was like, I can't.
Bro,
I can't.
like-
I physically can't do this
Bro,
anymore.
like, yes, it's bad. It's that bad. Like, I can't even begin to like explain how bad it actually is. Like, you think I might be exaggerating, but it's really that bad to the point it makes me want to throw up. Things that make me want to throw up, and to the point where I'm watching something, I have to stop myself because I'm about to throw the fuck up. How nasty this shit is, bro. It's a thing, and it's bad, bro. Like, I'm trying
The
to
only thing that like like grosses me out to the point where it makes me want to throw up is mold, and that's because I had a traumatizing experience when I was a teenager with mold. But other than that, like this watching this did make me feel like physically, like I felt something. I don't know if I was gonna throw up, but I was just like, I felt this, like it's a cringe. It's like a physical, like gut cringe.
It's bad. It's like, it's really bad. Like really, really disgusting. Like I don't know how to explain it to the point to explain how bad it fucking is. But imagine like you're in like walking, right? And it starts pouring, and then your clothes are fucking wet, fully, and then you step in a puddle, and you can't see, and then your socks are wet, and then you're trying to get home, and then the bus just runs you over, and then you get more water, and then when you think it's the worst of it, all of a sudden your phone dies, and then all of a sudden you have no way to get home, and then your bus thing declines, and it just gets worse and worse, and everything bad.
Then when you're in front of your door, you get shot.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
That's how bad it fucking is. Like you think it's like, oh yeah. It can't. I'm like, this bitch needs to catch a break. It's just back-to-back shit that happens to her. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, how the fuck do you get yourself in this situation? And just when you think she's gonna get better for her, everything goes around. It's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Back to hell we go. And it just drags it lower and lower. And oh my goodness. Did you get to the point where she's about to get married, Sean?
No.
Oh my God, Sean.
I got to the point where the freak show was going under. And the guy's about to sell it.
Yeah.
I didn't even get that far. It's like 20 minutes in.
All right,
I think it's like halfway. I think I got like halfway.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. After did you see when she joined already, like the circus and stuff, and she was there as like cleaning and everything?
Yeah. I saw that. I saw up to the point where they're not making any money.
Did you see what happened to her at the circus already?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my
God. Yeah. I saw it. It was.
Yeah, that's one of the most traumatizing episodes.
And I think what made it hard too is like we talked about this, Tyrese, in one of the earlier episodes when we first started doing this. I have a hard time watching any shows, reading books, anything where the main character is stupid. Mm-hmm. This little girl, she's a little girl, so I can't even really judge her. But at the same time, in my head, I'm just like, bitch, you need to leave. Like, you need to go. Leave. Like, you need to run away. Because they're not even really, like, watching her. Like, they let her go to the store and, like, shit. So I'm just like,
she could have left any time?
Yes. I'm like, yo, you need to go. But at the same time, it's like, she lives there. Like, that's where her bed is. That they feed her. Like, she lives and works there. But she's it's like, bro, you have to just leave. At some point, like, it's adult people that have a hard enough time with that. Like, leaving abusive situations or whatever. So she's a little girl, so I get it. But it's just so frustrating to watch somebody go through this and to know that they could just leave. And at the same time, it's like, you're a little girl. You're going to be lucky to find someone who's not going to try and manipulate you in some way, but you gotta try. It can't be worse than this. Like,
no, that man, I was so annoyed. Like the whole thing was just like, bro, what the actual fuck? Like that's all I can say. After I finished that shit, and I really want to throw up in my fucking mouth. I literally sat there and I thought to myself, what the fuck did I just watch?
It made me sad. Like, it really made me sad.
I felt bad for her.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck did I just sit here? I will never get those, like, 45 minutes back of my life. I will never get it back. Like, 15 minutes.
Up until I watched that, the only anime that really made me sad was Michiko and Hachin.
Mm.
And Akame got killed kind of made me sad.
That should make my eyes out.
That shit killed me.
Attack on Titan made me a little sad.
We haven't even had the sad part yet. Now it is. That's coming.
Yeah.
I know.
The depressing part.
Attack on Titan made me a little sad. Michiko and Hachin made me really sad. Because even though it had, like, kind of a happy ending, it really wasn't. Like, the whole theme of that anime was just niggas ain't shit. Like it was sad, and it made me feel bad as a guy because the whole show was basically about guys screwing these two women over for their entire lives, and I'm just like, it was hard to watch as a guy because I'm just like, y'all deserve better than this. It's like, it's too bad that y'all are fictional, and I can't help anyway. But it was like, that made me sad. But this, bro, this was like, it was sad, and then it was also like a little too real. Because it was weird to the point where you would think nothing like this could happen, but at the same time, shit like this has happened. So it's like, that was what made it really sad. But then it was just like so extreme. Like you like, and with everything that's happening with like the Jeffrey Dahmer, like the Netflix series and everything like that, like it shows that there are people out there that actually do shit like this. So this little girl, like everything that she had went through, knowing like how terrible it was, but also seeing it, like the graphic nature of it, made it 10 times worse. Because I'm like, fuck, this looks bad.
It was bad. Did you guys watch the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary or no?
I didn't watch it yet.
I only watched the first episode.
I didn't watch it yet. I don't know if I can. There's certain documentaries and reenactment like shows and stuff like that where like when it's based on a true story, it kind of is hard to watch.
There is one thing that I hate about like certain, like for example, it was the Richard Ramirez documentary. It was this one. It's the idolization of serial killers, and I absolutely hate that shit because Jeffrey Dahmer and this serial killer is like Ted Bundy, like the dating game killer. It's just all these serial killers that you know about. I study criminal justice. I'm not obsessed with them. PSA.
Well, I don't even know if it's like an idolization or just like a fascination.
No,
like where people just like are obsessed with them.
But the thing is that people get obsessed. All right, even true crime, people get obsessed to the point where it's upsetting because I feel like people forget that people actually went through this. Like people actually died. People, you idolize so much the person who committed the crime that you forget about the victims, the people who had to go through what they went through. You hear that shit on like a documentary, like, oh yeah, he got his skin, like whatever, and then you all think about how the fuck did Jeffrey Dahmer do that? But you don't think about the fact that the victim had to go through that. Like, it's just, people lack, I don't know if it's the word sympathy or empathy or whatever the fuck it is, but people just lack a little bit of both, to be honest. Yeah. Because you see people like, oh my god, like, or like, for example, people idolize Ted Bundy because in their opinion, he's fine looking for a serial killer. You couldn't expect a man who looks so defined to be a serial killer, and back in those days, you know? And you hear, or even Richard Ramirez, which, oh god, just the thought of it's disgusting, bro. I don't know. Just if you go online and see people like be like, oh my god, he's so hot, da, 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 and just idolize these men who, if you were in front of them, will kill you in a heartbeat. You know what I was saying? You will become one of his victims. And you're here talking about, oh, I wish, like, strangle me, da, 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 and it's just like, it's disrespectful to the fact that all the victims who had to go through some shit like that.
Right.
Like, people forget about the victims who had to go through what people are learning about.
Well, like, I think it even goes beyond that. I think it's that people fail to remember that this shit is real. Yeah. Because it's like they think they see it on TV or hear it on like these shows or whatever, and it's just like entertainment. But it's like, no, this actually happened. Because it's the same thing that you see with like vampires. Like, why are vampires in shows always hot and rich? And like people are like, oh, I wish he'd, bite my neck like that. But it's just like, yeah, okay, he's a vampire. Like, I get it. They purposely make them look that way, but it's like they're a predator. Like, they're supposed to like lure you in. But when an actual person does it, it's a bad thing. Like, it's bad enough when a vampire does it. He's the bad guy. But when a real person does it, it's like, you have to understand, this is not a fictional villain. This is a real-life evil person with real-life victims. This is not something that you're supposed to say, like, oh, but he's so hot and dangerous, and it's like, no, but he's fucking
just
crazy.
So weird. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. When you see
some
shit
people
like
just
that,
have like this obsession with like people they deem as attractive who are quote
there are
unquote
people
dangerous.
People who are obsessed with serial killers, who are
Mm-hmm.
literally like in love with the idea of it, like a serial killer. And it's just like, I don't know whether you're just, is it like trauma, like Stockholm syndrome or something? Like you're just in love with some, like, it's the lack of common sense, because you become so obsessed with this like person who's a fucking monster, who skinned people, who ate people, who killed people, whether it was men or women.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, you forget that the people who they killed had family, had a life, were actually living human beings with names.
Yep.
Even some of them are Jane Does.
I think it's also part of like the documentary part of it makes people think that it's something that happened just forever ago.
Oh, like, and
It's
then
like
the
a
thing is,
history documentary. Like when you hear history documentaries about like ancient like rulers who were evil or whatever, like people don't give it the same amount of weight as they would something that happened yesterday. But you got to remember the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Like his victims are still like the one who got away. Like that guy's still alive. Like
I think he did.
he's still.
No, he died. Did he?
Oh wait, no, but he didn't die. He didn't die. He died. What was it? Drug issue, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but his sister is still alive. The one who his sister, who they had an actress in the show play her because she gave like a testimony in court. His sister's still alive. She was like, "No, I don't think this is cool in any way. Like, I didn't watch the show. I don't think this is cool at all."
And people act like, bro, I see so many people like, oh my god, every time they come out with a new documentary about a serial killer, it's always this hype and idolization of to like study their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So how can a human being who looks like this do this to somebody? Or I'm like, how can a human being who had a great upbringing become such a fucking monster?
Yeah.
And then you forget about the people who had to experience everything that you're learning about, and the lack of empathy and sympathy for the victims, because like they had to go, they're dead, like they're dead, and you are here like, oh my god, I wish, like, oh my god, I love you, you're so hot. Like, it's just fucking weird and disgusting. That type of behavior should not be idolized. You shouldn't idolize people who are pieces of shit and deserve to be, you know, not to play God here, but you know, it's just people who have done fucked up things to other people in life, and you're like, oh my god, like, yes, true crime. There's a fine line between learning something and being obsessed with it. You shouldn't be obsessed with serial killers. Mm-hmm. And there's a PSA to everybody listening. If you like serial killers to the point of obsession, or true crime to the point where you're lacking sympathy for victims, you're sick in the fucking head and you need to get some fucking help.
The only time that it's remotely okay to be obsessed with people who have any type of like social or mental like what is it? Not disability, but like whatever. Like whatever it is that causes somebody to become a serial killer. Or like the only time it's okay to be obsessed with something like that is when you're literally looking at it from like a scientific perspective, where it's like, I'm obsessed with this because I want to understand it so I can try to prevent it.
Right.
Like, I want to learn about these types of people so I can try to make it so these types of people don't exist anymore. Or at least can get help before they get to this point.
To see how they became, you know, to spread awareness. That's fine. We'll spread awareness about, like, mental health and, you know, catching things early and,
exactly.
like, you know, like, violence, because there are traits. There, even if, for example, there are serial killers who have grown up in loving homes and who still end up being monsters and pieces of shit. Mm-hmm. And there are people who have, like, you know, grown up in really toxic environments and therefore have become pieces of shit. But long story short is, you know, don't idolize serial killers.
Yeah.
Like, don't.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's disgusting, and it's really disturbing because there's something wrong with you. There has to be something wrong with your head. Like, you need to seek some help, because if you're like, oh my god, like Jeffrey Dahmer, oh my god, da da da, oh my god, Ted Bundy, da da, it's just weird. Why are you so obsessed with somebody who killed people?
Now, I will say this though. I will say this. There are certain criminals that I am obsessed with. And I am truly jealous of. Which is ironic because I also kind of hate them. And that is thieves. People who are able, like pickpockets, bank robbers, con artists, like those types of people fascinate the fuck out of me. And I hate them though. Like scammers, like I don't know why. It's like the mental side of it. It's like you're playing 4D chess against the world and you're winning. How? How are you doing this? Also, please stop. Like,
I'll be a little jealous of scammers. I was like, damn, bitch.
Yeah, it's like, how did you come up? How did you figure this out? Like the Ocean's movies.
Don't tell me too much.
I watched Mr. Robot and I instantly loved scammers, but at the same time I hate them.
Yeah. The Ocean's movies, like the Italian Job, like heist movies, like those are my favorite kinds of movies when it comes to like watching criminals or whatever. But at the same time, it's like these people don't. There's a bad thing you're doing, like especially when they steal from like regular people. Like, come on, bro. But then it's like, how did you do that?
Teach me.
Like,
Teach me how to do it. I don't even want to do it. I just want to know how you did it. It's like magic. Like I know you. I would just want to know the trick. I don't even want to do it. I just want to know it.
Just in case.
Yeah. Like pickpockets in movies are so fucking cool. I just want to be able to do it. I don't want to do it though. Like I don't want to steal somebody's watch off them without them knowing. I just want to know how.
Me too. Like, how are you able to bump into somebody and instantly take their wallet?
Oh my, exactly.
Like, I want to know how you did that. I don't want to do it. I just want to know how.
Right.
Like, what's the method behind that?
Speaking of which, did either one of you watch or finish at least The Great Pretender?
Yeah, I have.
You did?
Amazing show. I loved it.
I gotta finish it. I did really, really like it though. Did you watch it?
I started it.
It's so good.
I left midway. I still haven't finished it.
It reminded me of Focus. If you ever seen that movie with Will Smith and Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
It was like Mentalist meets con artist meets master thief. Like it was so interesting. Like the mental side of tricking people and like manipulating people into doing things has always fascinated me. However, it also depends on what you do with that ability. Like if you're stealing millions from like corrupt politicians, by all means go ahead, have at it.
I would too. I'd be like a modern day Robin Hood.
Yeah, if you're stealing money from like a bank or some type of financial institution that's like huge and you know they're just going to get a government bailout anyway, by all means, have at it. But if you're stealing from like regular people on the street, like grandmoms and shit, like, all right, bro, you're taking it too far now. Like now you fucking up somebody's whole life. That might be all of their money.
Yes, steal from the eat the rich, steal from them corrupt.
You're right. But that scene in Focus, I don't know if you guys ever saw Focus. There's a scene where they're like in a booth at a football game with this super rich guy who's played by B.D. Wong, and Will Smith is like betting him just different shit. So he's like, all right, I bet you if you go and take these binoculars and look down onto the field and find any player and just remember their jersey number, my friend here can guess which player you picked. Don't say it out loud. Just find a player on the field that you see that stands out to you. Look at their jersey number and just remember it in your head, and my friend here will guess what number it is. They bet $20 million, I think. So he didn't this is Will Smith talking to Margot Robbie. He didn't even let her in on the scam. He was just like, you can do it. I trust you. She's like, what? So the guy, B.D. Wong, is like looking around on the field with the binoculars, and he's like, okay, I see one. I see a player. So he hands her the binoculars, and she's like, I can't fucking do this. And he's like, trust me. I believe in you. You can do it. So she takes the binoculars, and she's like scanning the field, looking at all these different players, trying to figure out which one he like picked. And finally, she sees one of their friends. There we go. Oh. Something went wrong during recording. Please have Reese refresh the page and continue recording. Refresh your page, Tyrese. Tyrese, we can hear you.
Well.
Oh, God. Is he gone? I think he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Oh, no,
Not again.
Tyrese. Oh, poor guy. Well, anyway. She's, like, looking around the field, and one of their friends is standing on the field. He's not in shape. He's, like, super short. Like, just tubby fat guy wearing a football uniform. And she's just like, what the fuck is he doing there? So she's like, is it player number 55? And the guy was like, how the fuck did you do that? And then she looks over at Will Smith and he was like, like he purposely planted their friend on the field in a jersey, knowing that he does not look like a football player at all and would stand out so the guy would pick him. And then he was like, trust me, you're going to be able to guess who he picked. And she sees him and she's like, it has to be him. And they ended up winning $20 million on like that bet.
Holy shit.
It was crazy. Like shit like that always fascinates me. And then there's another guy, I can't remember his name. Hold on, let me look it up. But he's a famous like mentalist and pickpocket. But he teaches, like he basically teaches his techniques and stuff.
Poor Tyrese. Come here.
Fucking poor bitch, son of a bitch. Oh my god.
What is happening?
Sorry, my Tourette's was kicking in.
You don't have Tourette's. Apollo Robbins, that's his name. Apollo Robbins. You guys have to look up. You guys have to look up Apollo Robbins.
Ooh, that was.
I do now.
He's a famous pickpocket and like mentalist, and he's been on Penn and Teller, I think Penn and Teller, or like America's Got Talent and stuff like that. He'll literally like take your watch off your wrist, put it on his own wrist, and then tell you what time it is. It's like crazy.
I need him to teach me I need him to teach me his ways, so I could.
Yes,
so I could
for sure. So I can just know exactly.
Did you figure out your technical difficulties?
My what?
Your technical difficulties.
Oh, it was my mic.
Oh, damn it, Mike!
And then my Tourette's kicked in.
You don't have Tourette's.
I do now.
No, you don't. That's not even how it works. Wow.
Piss.
Is that how it works? Have you ever
Piss.
seen a baby with Tourette's? What do babies with Tourette's do or say?
Shit. See,
No, they don't say shit. Oh man, I gotta look that up now. A baby with Tourette's. What does that look like? Oh, now I'm fascinated. All right. Well, anywho, yeah. So long story short, to all the people listening and watching this, don't watch Midori.
Don't.
Ignorance is bliss. I'm not gonna watch it.
I try to spare him. He didn't listen. That's beyond me now.
Yeah.
You know, that's between you and God and whoever your therapist is, because you're gonna need one.
Well, I'm agnostic, so I just gotta live with this shit.
Yeah, I
Ignorance is bliss. I mean, if I do end up watching it, I'll send you the bill.
The bill for what? Your therapist?
Yeah.
Don't send it to me. I told you not to watch it.
Watch it on your own risk.
See? She said, watch out, my own
I
risk.
said don't send it to me. I didn't say don't send it to Serae.
I'll send it to Serae because she's the one who mentioned all this.
I don't got no damn money.
Oh my God, Serae, you gotta tell. This will be the last thing we go over because this isn't even anime related. But Serae, you have to tell Tyrese how amazing my office is.
Oh my God, it is great.
You have your own office?
Yeah, he does. promotion or whatever, you know, more money.
Did you know I got a promotion?
Mr. Big Shot.
Did I not tell you I got a promotion?
No.
What?
You have a promotion?
Yeah, I told. Well,
You guys
Marquise knew because Marquise was still there when I got it. Damn,
Don't
so
tell
you
me these
didn't know.
things.
It's LOD now.
Yeah, I'm a no. I'm not LOD. I'm a PML. I'm Joe.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
Black
an
Joe.
LOD.
Look
Yes.
at you, Mr. Big Shot.
Facts. Mr. I'm not going to disclose the amount he makes an hour, but a good amount an hour.
How do you know? You don't know.
I can assume.
Oh,
You want me to guess?
yeah, go ahead, take a guess.
Yes, we could, I'll guess after the, you know, people might be listening, maybe we're going to rob you or something. I don't know. I don't want to be held responsible for
You
that.
never
Okay.
know who's listening.
I
Yeah.
already told Marquise on our podcast. Well, I don't know if I said it while we were recording. Actually, I don't think I did. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was another week of the BrOtaku Alliance podcast. I am Sean. We didn't introduce ourselves this week. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Our names are on the bottom of the screen. Look down,
Period.
dumbasses. I'm Sean. That is Terai. That is Tyrese. I'm not going to bother guessing which part of the screen they're in because that never works out.
So he's in the middle for me.
I'm on the side
Oh,
for
me too. She's in the middle for me
That's in
too.
the middle.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Maybe it'll be like that when the actual video gets rendered. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. But if you'd like to see more of these podcasts, make sure you check out the Lowlights Network YouTube channel or head to the website blackflagentertainment.com or blackflagent.online. It's a weird address, but that was the domain I could afford. Anywho, where you can also see other content such as our reoccurring series, This Really Happened. The last episode that was posted was my story about getting lost in the woods overnight with my great-grandmother and 3 of my cousins, which, by the way, was a true story.
I figured it was true.
Yep, it was 100% true. If you did watch the Untitled Hoops podcast with me and Marquise, I actually posted a clip, a little screenshot of the newspaper that came out that we were featured in when that actually happened.
We have a newspaper?
Here, I'll put it up on the screen. I'll put it up on the screen because I have it. I have it here on my computer. Bow. There it is. Check that out. Little 8-year-old Sean, front and center.
You look so traumatized.
Oh, I was.
I look so tired.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
Yep. So I'll read a little clip. I'll read that little first paragraph. A 79-year-old West Philadelphia civil rights activist, that's my great-grandmother, lost with a grandchild and 3 great-grandchildren for nearly 24 hours in dense woods in the Poconos. Mustered her wits to build a shelter against a violent thunderstorm and huddle with her charges until help finally arrived. Yeah, it was a very, very violent thunderstorm.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, it was a rough night. It was a rough night for your boy. But yeah, 100% true story. So, yep, that happened. That really happened.
Holy shit.
God damn.
Sarai, you're next. We need a story.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, we need a story from you.
It can be true or it can be not true.
I will laugh.
I think I have an idea for my next story.
You do?
I think so.
What
Well,
do you think about it?
You got to think about it.
I think I have mine. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, go look at the website. Follow us on Instagram. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a thumbs up on every video if you're cool. If you're not cool, then don't watch it. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.